Hello sim gamers, welcome back to some Let's Play Sailwind. We are hanging out in the village of Sen'Na on the in the Fire Fish Lagoon region. The new archipelago that came available in 0.22 early access. We're running on patch 0.22.1, but we're going to head back over this hill over to the dock and prepare to get ourselves going to our destination for the day. In the last episode, we arrived here in the Fire Fish Lagoon region, and it's an entirely new region, newly available. Look at those sand beaches; those are awesome. And I intentionally didn't expose myself to any information about it before I got here. We ended up landing at the village of Sen'Na, I think, and but that's not where we actually want to be. We want to be in the village of Fire Fish Town to deliver our stuff. Now, unfortunately, I don't have a map. So the only way for me to get a map, really, is to find a mission with stuff going there. And there happens to be this one. 5 crates of medicine for 85 emerald dragons going to Firefish Town. So I'm going to go ahead and just pack these up really quick. A nice little bit of cargo to stick on our hold here to head off to Firefish Town. That way, when I look at my mission log, I will have this destination in a map. That will help me navigate the passages and shoals and everything that this area has to offer. And we're going to get underway. In order to do so, we're actually going to take advantage of our new mooring line setup. I want to kick the wheel over to the left. And the wind will apply a slight pressure on our sail and ship and everything, even without with them not being lowered. It's a new feature of 0.22. But more importantly, we have this new capability of pulling on a mooring line, and I think just a little bit of impulse to get us moving, shove off or two, and we'll sort of let the these winds take us along the way. And I am specifically aiming for the shallowest part of in between these sandbars here. I want just a little wind on this sail. Looks like we could stand to pull it. Yeah, that'll work. The wind is directly aft of us right now. So I'm intentionally trying to sail quite slowly, actually, until I'm reasonably sure that I'm going to be clear of these sandbars. Now, in previous episodes, you've heard me whine about navigational challenges in particularly around the Dragon Cliffs. And that's because of hidden underwater navigation challenges that aren't marked in any way. These ones are like visible from the surface of the water. You can tell they're there and that they are something you need to consider. So I have no issue with whatever skill is required to navigate these particular waters from that perspective. I'm going to go ahead and get under full sail in the front line here just to pull us through. Right now, the rear sail is casting a wind shadow on the foresail, on the mainsail. And it looks like we are clear of the sandbar, so we're pretty much free to begin navigating. Unfortunately, it does mean that we're going to be in close-hauled sailing for quite a bit of this journey, and the wind right now is rather light. But we are on our way from Sen'Na to the Firefish town. We're probably going to be relying mostly on our food from whatever we have on board, food and water, rather than fishing for a little while as we navigate our way there. Okay. I have another crate of goat cheese downstairs if I need it. And because I like measuring things, let's see how oops, do not throw that. I don't want to throw that over the board. It's a rather expensive instrument to throw overboard. So if you're not getting accurate readings on this thing, it's because there's still a bug in it as far as I can tell, where upon buying the chip log, you only get accurate readings after you save and reload. So we're running about 7 knots. So as I'm looking at this map and kind of seeing where the wind direction is coming from, the wind direction is essentially coming due out of the east. And if I look at this map, I can see that basically means heading east is going to be problematic, and I need to do that throughout this almost entire sandbar right here. So this is not a navigation channel that's going to be particularly useful for me. So as I get clear of this island, maybe get sight of Kishia Bay, I can then turn, make a tack, and essentially turn so the wind is at my starboard aft to come up through here, and then I have this open area inside to navigate. Now I imagine there may be uncharted sandbars and stuff in here to keep an eye out for, so I want to keep that in mind as well. These sails keep threatening to fall off with this wind, and there's just a looming black cliff in front of us. So I'm going to go ahead and pull up sails for the night. We'll anchor right here. It will give me a chance to test one of the things I've been wanting to understand. I couldn't test it before because the water was too deep. But I'd be curious to know if with the wind, the gradual wind pressure on sails, if that will cause ships to weather vane against the anchor like they do in real life. So, much like the day before Christmas morning or something, my character was up and down all night long. Okay, so the ship does not weather vane when it's anchored. That is good to know. We're in the pre-dawn hours, but I can actually start seeing the definition of the land and everything that's around me. The wind has shifted sufficiently where I'm not having to sail completely close-hauled into land. So we're going to get ourselves underway here in just a bit. Raise up the anchor. I wonder if the game dev will eventually build in the full, realistic or more realistic anchor handling. Because much like the mooring lines, the wind can push and pull the ship against them, and it will slowly weather vane around. So that might be something that the devs could do with the anchor. Same thing. It's a fixed length line. And once the wind lightly pushes on a ship until that line hits its maximum length, then it'll settle in, and the ship will just sort of pull against it in the direction of the wind. So this landscape is marked with a lot of haze. Probably just a lot of humidity in the air. Oh yeah, speaking of humidity, this water barrel is out of water. That's another new thing that's available in the patch. You can actually just drink out of the barrel. Okay, well, there's a view of, as we pass by, of Kitchia Bay. Okay, checking our map in the log. We're sailing up around here now. Basically right in this corner. I'm going to guess it's that island out there because I can see the tip of this sandbar, just barely make out the tip of the other sandbar, and those two sort of draw a line to that far island. I wonder, is this island even on the map? Because these draw a thing to here. Could be that island is further away, just bigger than I expect. I have to hand it to the devs. This type of navigation and ship handling challenge in sort of tight quarters like this is really fun, and I like the I like having to also solve that problem in and around Dragon Cliffs. My only feedback is that the hidden underwater obstacles are a real hindrance to that enjoyment. If I lose control of my ship, or, you know, make the wrong turn or make the wrong sail configuration and sail myself onto a sandbar that I can see, that I can know about in a tight quarter, that's an issue that, like, that's a skill that I need to develop. How to navigate those areas. So there are some hidden sandbars, it looks like, to look out for. There's one right over there that I'm going to go ahead and steer to avoid. And I can just barely start making it out now from the deck, from the wheelhouse. It's right over there, that sandbar. Don't want to run into that if I can avoid it. This episode's comment comes from Fire Fish, the namesake of the new region added in patch 0.22. Hey man, I've loved your videos and seeing you play. You convinced me to get the game with these videos. Also, forget not the lore of how the new archipelago were named. Firefish, I'm humbled. I honestly didn't know the lore of the new region until I went searching. It turns out Fire Fish Lagoon is named after a community member who's oftentimes out at sea for real, posting pictures of the latest adventures in the Discord. So if you want to get involved with this community who literally names the stars in the sky, join the official Discord community. Link in the description below. And be sure to tell Firefish I sent you to say fair winds and following seas. That track was Simple Beauty by Harris Heller, part of the Streambeats Lo-Fi playlist. And just in time for that song to be over, as we need to go ahead and crank our wheel over. And we're largely going to be running before the wind more than anything else. So I'm going to let my sheet winches go. And I can see the greenery of the area around where we're going. And the question I have is, which side of that little island do I dock on? This is where a spyglass would be super freaking handy. But I couldn't afford it. I didn't think to buy one before I left No, I tried to look up one. I think it was just too expensive before I left Fort Astron to come out here to Fire Fish Lagoon. We are coming in. I'm going to wheel. I'm going to start raising up some masts here so we're not carrying as much speed. The last thing I want to do is run aground at full speed so close to where we're trying to get to. But that's the dock for Firefish Town right there. I'm probably just going to raise up the main mast, raise the mainsail, and run on the mizzen mast. Since all of its controls are much more easily accessible in the wheelhouse. And once again, we're running before the wind, so actually we'll have plenty of momentum from behind us, really. Okay, so there's still a slight wind pressure on fully furled sails. And we get to pull into Firefish Town with the sandbuck. Looks like getting out is going to be a bit of a interesting challenge though. But we'll worry about that in the future. Right now we're just going to coast on in nice and easy. All right, from this point on, everything can be done with the new mooring lines. One of my favorite features of this version of the game now. Because look what I can do. I can just go up here and slowly pull the ship into dock exactly where I want it. This is such a huge quality of life update for Sailwind. Having updated where we no longer have those rubber band mooring lines. I can give some assistance by using a rear line here. Can't quite reach it from there. But I could also ride the ship along. And basically there we have it. Now I can let out a little bit. Just to let the ship have some room to float, breathe, reposition itself maybe. In fact, I can take this line back here. But please give me that line. I want it. Let out a little slack there. And I'm happy with that. All right. This is going to be a bit of an unload in the dark. Hooray, we're at the right place. Okay, Sim Gamers, I saved the last 4 deliveries. We have goods completed. Nails completed. 2 different missions for medicine. And that gives us 9,000 Emerald Dragons. Let's see what our logs have to say. Yeah, we earned over 9,000 Emerald Dragons in that mission alone. But it is definitely kind of a beautiful place at night. Firefish Town. We'll have to explore it during the day when everything is nice and open and all the markets are open. But this is where I'm going to call this particular episode to a close. I've been Sim Gamer, and this has been Sailwind Early Access. Welcome to Firefish Town, everyone.